Greetings, YouTube, and welcome to episode 43 of the 4,000 question challenge. And Mandarin decided already that she's going to hop up here and join us. Yay, lucky us. I'm actually just going to move this in a little. That's not helping me. That's not helping me. I'm trying to keep her from doing things that. Yeah, come on. Come on. Come on. Can't even get the video started with you all over the place. There we go. All right. Let's actually see if we can start the video now. When you were young, were you told you could do or be anything you wanted? I have no idea. What would you make you feel betrayed by your mate? Why would you ask someone that question? That's not a good path to follow, folks. No. What do you think about mandatory premarital counseling? At your marriage, not your business. Do you think that kids raised in households without fathers are at a disadvantage? I'm starting to question Barbara Kipfer on these questions. No, I don't. I don't. There are other male roles in someone's family. It can be uncles, friends, cousins. There can be lots of male advantages. Yeah, therapists, counselors. There can be male roles in kids' lives. In your family, did everyone have their own seat at the dinner table? You don't remember. What do you remember about your oldest relatives and relative or relatives who you knew personally? It's the oldest relatives I knew personally. I had the vague, very vague memory of my great-great-grandmother. Very vague memory. It's like barely present, but it's there. I have had some aunts and uncles that were pretty up there. But I didn't have a lot of interaction with them because for the most part they lived in Pennsylvania. So I only see them once in a blue moon. So yeah, no, I never really had a lot of interaction with the older members of my family. The oldest members of my family I had any regular interaction with were my grandparents. What people did you have to take care of while growing up? I babysat my sister quite frequently, took care of her a lot of time in the summertime. I'd be the person in charge of my sister, which just was something I despised. Did you play tricks on your siblings? Yes, I conducted deep psychological warfare against my sister because we had an unhealthy dynamic. Are you the same person with your family as with your friends? If not, what are the differences and why? I'm not sure if any of us are the same with our families as we are with those outside our family. Our dynamics change every day. Heck, at work, I'm different with different people. There are people at work who I have an actual emotional connection to. Those that like fall into like, are you on my Christmas list for gifts? And those that are just acquaintances. And there are people at work who I've worked with for almost 20 years, and I don't even know their names. They're just a face at work. So that's a really complex question, and I think it's a common experience that all of us had, and it's not particularly unique about that. Tell a story of an eccentric relative. Eccentric relative. My parents came from a small town. Small towns are full of eccentric people. Any of my relatives that were in particularly eccentric? Frankly, do any of us see our families in the same light that anyone else does? Because the personal experiences I've had is that when I get to know a person, it doesn't have to be a deep relationship, but I get to know someone. And I get to the point where I like let down my guard. And I just talk about life in general. I've discovered that when I think I'm being the absolutely most mundane is when I freak people out the most. So if I cannot judge my own personal experiences in comparison to societal norms, how will I judge those of my family members, which is a level of abstraction beyond myself? Sorry, this got a little philosophical, but that's just what it is. So, I'm not sure I can define any of my members as being particularly eccentric, because they're just my family members, or were. A lot of them are already gone. So yeah, no, I don't think there's anybody all that many eccentrics in my family. It's just, my family. Thank you, and I look forward to seeing you in the next episode.